Hello there, beautiful people, and welcome back to part 15. The Small Pond Big Vision, the Autistic Koi Keeper, and I have just got the last piece of wood for the top of the pond. This pond has had a little bit of prevent blanket weed going, which actually does seem to be making a difference, because the easy pod is lasting a lot longer. Well, let me show you this last piece of wood. There we go. That's the last piece. That was the spare piece that we had, and I've just offered it up, and I've cut it too short for where I want it. It should be another 5 inches longer. I'm like, so I'm sitting here now thinking, oh my god, how can I do that? What a disaster. But it's not a disaster, because I can cut another 5 inches off of it and it will fit on the inside. But what it does mean is I've now got to go out and get another piece of wood to go where this one is going to go. Talk about falling over before the finish line. Anyway, would you like to see the pond? Well, you're not going to. Not till the end. Not till this top is done. I'm going to tease you. So, while I go out and get this bit of wood, which I can't really afford, we will catch you in a bit. Well guys, I've just literally finished, and you can see how dark it is. Unfortunately, there we go, we finished the top pretty much. I've still got to pack up. I'm going to show you the end result in the morning when we can finally see. So, catch you in the morning, guys. Good morning, beautiful people. How are we all doing today? It's now Sunday, and we are looking pretty good on the little pond. We got most of it done yesterday. One tiny little bit of top to do, and a few little touches up, and we'll be good to go. Now these guys, for some reason the water is now started rapidly going down. Why? When it's full, it hardly goes down. Once it gets to the liner, you then start losing about an inch a day. So obviously at some point you have to try and redo that patch again. See if we can find any other issues, which we couldn't. Yeah, these guys are looking alright. A little bit bubbly because the air's been on. Give them a feed in a second. How are these guys over here doing? Just the jaguar coming to see me this morning. There's your buddies. Would help if you could see them, but a couple more days, this will be gone. And Christ for that, because my mum's moaning, I can't get to my flowers. It's driving me nuts. Let's go have a look at the tank, guys, and then I'll take you over to the pond. There we go. These guys are doing fine. I'll be out of there soon. This is a good job, because I can't figure out why this water just keeps going cloudy. I had a feed. I'm wondering if it's the sake. It's not supposed to make the water go cloudy. So, everyone's doing fine in there. Probably give it a bit of a water change. Will you stand still, clicky clacky? Huh? Tap dancer. What are you doing? What are you doing? Do you want some food? I'll sort you out in a minute. Oh, flop. Right, so let's go and take you over to the little pond. So here we are, guys. How do you think of that? It's still a bit damp. Looking great. I'm going to have to get rid of this water because I had to drill up yesterday to get these inside pieces in. I had to drill up from underneath, and there was no way to catch the sawdust because I could only just about fit the drill in between that and the water line, so there's no way to catch the bits that fell over, or fell in I should say. And I thought sawdust was supposed to float. It don't, it sinks. So you have to get all that out, so I don't want that all in. Damn screw still in there. Let's get that out. There's this. I'll find the stick in a minute. Get that out. And must have forgot that. I knew it was in there. I didn't want that in there. For Christ's sake. So, yeah, the only bit of wood that I didn't get done was this bit. And that's because it does need a little bit of cutting to fit in. Sure, how are we going to fit that in? There's another bit somewhere. That's the bit I was using. Where's that bit gone? Where did I put that bit? Oh, it's around somewhere. We'll find it. So yeah, that's the only bit left to do. I'm going to leave this bit. So that bit's getting left. Just so I've got easier access to the skimmer. I just need to put said bit of wood there. Cut that down, and then I need to drill a hole in here somewhere. Yeah, possibly there, possibly there. I'd like it to go there, to be honest with you, because that's straight down the edge of the pond, so it will circulate the water better and not come back on itself. So that's got to be decided once I get the backy shower into place. And the last thing I've got to do is go between the liner and the top. I'm on a nice big bead, the CT1. And what that will do is that will seal the other side of this gap so that the water doesn't come over and go down in between the liner and the pond. Cause me a load of issues. So once we get that sorted, I'll probably drain the water out first to do that. It's going to be a lot easier with no water in the pond. And once we've done everything, you need to put the cover back over, put a bit more planking across, and attack this hedge. It's now monstrous. And we'll get it sorted. And then we can fix up the pipe work, put them bricks back in the right place, get all that sorted, everything hooked up together, and we're ready to go. The only thing I don't have is the two new valves that are going to be on the airline. So I'm going to, instead of this contraption that we had there before, we are going to have one white coming up, and that's going to split off on one branch and have another white which will run the two barrels. The first line will go straight to the bottom drain and run the air disc. And that is the plan. So one or two holes in here, one for the pipe and one for the airline. And what I'm going to do is that pipe, this airline, I did check it last night, actually goes straight on to the air pump. So I need to cut a bit off of here, and then the hose pipe, put some liquid back around that, marry the two together, cut the hose pipe a bit shorter, and then have another couple of pieces that will splice onto the valves, and then the blue line, and then another little splice onto the two air stones at the bottom of the filters. And that should save me another 40-50 quid worth of black airline. If it doesn't work, then I will have to get it, but for now, temporary to permanent, we'll go with that idea. As long as I've got enough little bits, enough at the end to make the little bits to come off. So, I am going to get up and working in a minute. So, this one at the back, front one, that had to get turned over, because when I put it in originally, as you can see, there's a slight bow in it. It's just a piece of wood. It's nothing to do with anything else. It's just the way that piece of wood was. Didn't notice it when I got it. So we had to turn that one over. And in order to do that, we had to get the original screws out. And one of them was an absolute bitch. That wouldn't come out at all. It wouldn't go in, it wouldn't come out. So I ended up getting some pliers on it and unscrewing it with the pliers. Now while I was doing that, it slipped off the screw. And the pliers pinched into my hand and took a massive chunk of skin out. So that got a bit of a yell and a few swear words were said. And in the end, I ended up having to cut the bit of flappy skin that was off, hanging off. So that's pretty sore this morning. And also yesterday, we touched a saw blade by accident and took a chunk out of my finger. So we didn't do too well yesterday, beating myself up. All this project is done. So far we fell over. Done several cuts to myself. What's next? Please don't be anything next. We're done now. So yeah, so we started off with some annoying screws, putting the frame together. So it's probably fitting that we finished off with one annoying screw. But that is pretty much all the build work on the pond done now. Just that one bit of wood and one or two holes. I'll have to go for one bigger hole and have the pipe and the airline going through the same hole, or to have one hole and then an airline hole. And I think, yeah, still decided on that one. Possibly one hole, depending on how much wood is going to be left. If I went with one hole and I wanted to change the pipe work later, then I probably could, without having to cut it again. So what's going to happen is that pipe work will drop down there. For the time being, it's going to run along the top. Now what we're going to do on that side of the backy shower is put another exit, another flange exit on the bottom of the shower, so the water runs out both directions. And I'm going to build some bog filters to go around and come out here somewhere, so it just drops the water down the back of the liner and that should help the flow push the crap down towards the bottom drain. That's a theory anyway. Whether it works or not, comes out with enough speed, I don't know. But if that works, then what I'll do is I'll make another bug filter to go here. So you won't see nasty pipework going across the top. And you'll see it's just planted up. It'll look like planters. We'll get some plants that will come over the front. So you won't actually see those nasty grey boxes. And then we just got to put the back on. And I've got some more money. A little bit of trellis to go on the back. There's a screen and a screen on that side and a little screen on this side as well, I reckon, just to make it nice and enclosed. And the last thing to do will be to make the frame for the net that's going to go over it. But until we do that, we'll just live with having the net draped over it. So we're looking good. We're looking really good. Right, let's get on. Let's get working. Dog wants feeding. Yeah? Yeah. So some food. Hungry. Hungries. Speak. Want some food? Come on, let's go and get you some breakfast. Alright, we'll see you in a bit, guys. Okay, so I thought I'd start off with finishing off the backy shower. That's because I need to find out where it's going to be sitting on the back. So, the only pipe I could get to fit was this thin black stuff, which is a little bit too small. So we're going to have to CT one that inside of there. And I couldn't also get an end cap. So I'm going to have to make one. And I've got some of the patch liner, some cable ties and some CT1. And the idea is to wrap the line up around the end of the pipe, CT1 it in place and put cable ties around it. And then hopefully that should be right. That should work. And the last thing to do is to drill some holes in the pipe so the water can come out. Right, so I'm going to crack on with that task. See how long this takes me. It's going to be all jiggery pokery, so it's probably going to take me a while. So I'll come back to you in a bit, guys. Something like that. It's looking too bad. There's sealant up in that little hole, so let's just pop another little dot in there. Hopefully that should hold. Don't look pretty, but you ain't gonna see it. So I can sort it out properly. And that should slide in there. Once I've drilled a few holes out. Alright, so let's put this somewhere safe. It ain't gonna go everywhere. I ain't gonna tread on it. The dog ain't gonna tread on it. Somewhere in the sun. Somewhere in the sun. Aha. Get in there. Get in there. Another bit's alright. Get in there. Get in. Now stay. Aha. Right. While I wait for that to dry, I'll find something else to do. I've got the first bit of pipe all secured together. Well, these are all tightened up now. So the next thing I need is the ball valve. So that's got to go through there, ball valve, and then we should be good to the next bit, which is the pump. There we go, ball valve in. I'm glad that I built this in sections, so each section can just be assembled and then put into place. This one out, I still need to solder up weld there and there. Right. Once the pump's on, we can have a look at that, and then we come back to the roller coaster up to the static bed chamber. So that's the next bit, pump, and then we can go ball valve again, and then yeah, we're sweet. We are sweet then. Next bit. Well, that's stage one completed now. It's looking good. Took me quite a while because I couldn't find this pipe with that collar on it. I spent about an hour and a half searching everywhere for it. But eventually we found it, and I could get everything sorted out. It's all soldered up, welded in now. I think I've just got one more to tighten up. Which is that one? No, that is tight. So that's all tightened up now. And then we're on to this part. But before I do that, I'm going to finish off the backy shower, because that pipe's now ready to be drilled. And then we can install it into the top bit of the backy shower. And then we'll do this bit. And then the only thing we're waiting on then is the valve, but we can get that pipe going up to the backy shower, and then get the backy shower pipe round, figure out where we're going to drill that hole, and get that put in. So that's the next task. So I'll catch you in a bit, guys. Well, that took absolutely forever. It took about 2 minutes to drill the holes, and about 2 hours to clean the blooming plastic from round the holes. They're pretty much there now. Yeah, that's about as good as we're going to get. So now that needs to go into there. So I get some liquid black CT1 and get that pushed in. Alright, as you can see, that it's now liquid black all the way around it. That's CT1, to be honest with you. And then a bit of weight and a rock underneath to hold it in place. And we just got to wait for that to dry. Should be done. I'm an idiot, really. I should have turned it around the other way. Let's try and do that. There we go. Turn it around. I hope that the sun should help it dry. Yeah, it's quite warm, even though it's 3:30. I'll put a little bit more weight on top of that, just to keep it in place. Right, and back to the pipe work. Now, it doesn't look like we've done anything, does it? I can actually assure you we have. we have got all the CT1 between the liner and the top. It's going off. We have got all the pipe work, apart from that, closed off, sealed up, soldered, welded, whichever. We've also got that little bracket, that's what we're waiting for, because that screw, again another screw that just would not go in. So I tried with a bit of solder weld, that didn't work, so I ended up with some CT1. I've just got that board pin there, so that sets. So that's setting. Also what's setting is the top part of the backy shower. You're still waiting for that to go off. Yeah, it's still a bit soft underneath. The outside's skinned off, but it's still a bit soft. So that can do wait till tomorrow. We've also fixed that. That was coming apart. So that's all fixed. Been given a bit of extra CT1. So we've done all the pipe work. So just left just to connect up the backy shower tomorrow. And then we are waiting on being able to get the 2 valves for the airline. Once they're in, once they've arrived, let's connect up the backy shower to there. And I've also noticed that these are not that solid. So what I need to do is figure out a way to probably brace underneath. There's enough gap there. I have got 2 braces left. So that side needs bracing. Can't do anything about that side. This one is solid. And that's because it's got wood at the top. If I ever built a pond like this again, make sure you don't just go all the way to the top with polystyrene. Put a nice batten all the way around the inside. And that gives you solid to put your top on. Because originally it was meant to be 1 piece of wood. Because it's had to now be 2 pieces. We've got this issue, but it will be sorted. That one's slightly down as well. So let's go and see if those braces will actually fit. And there you go, they do fit. Only going to have 3 holes to screw into, and that side is going to have just a bar. So so yeah, we'll have to see if we've got enough paint. Damn sun, can't see what I'm filming. So yeah, should have enough to give it just 1 coat. Just about make it. Yeah. So under there should help that. Where's that brace there? That one's there. That one's there. Yeah, there's enough room under there. There's enough gap between the edge and that to get that on. However, I just find a small piece of wood that I'll go over there just for aesthetics rise. Yeah, possibility. I've got the small bit of wood that needs to go in there, and that wasn't supposed to. looks like I've come through the hole with the CT1. If I leave it so it's not popped, I can get that bit of wood sorted out tomorrow. I need to cut. So what I might do actually is just put a small piece here, small piece there. Ignore going across that bit. Just a small piece that we can fire in there. There's one screw there. There's no screw there, so fire that in there. That should then pop that sealant, which is still squidgy underneath, and that should all seal it in together. I might even try and do that now actually. See if we can find a small piece of wood. Right, so that'll be the last task for today. And then just tidy up. Tidy up, make a mess, tidy up. That's all I ever seem to be doing. So, almost there. I reckon tomorrow we can have the whole system, apart from the barrels, joined together. Oh, we're looking good. Alright. Yeah, let's sort that out. Right, let's do that. I'll come back. Well, there you go. Looks a bit bodged, but that'll do for today. I think what I'll do tomorrow is I'll take that bit of wood out, take that other bit out, and round the corner here I have got the spare piece from from the bit I got yesterday. Is it yesterday? Oh, it's the bit I got for the bit over there. Anyway, so that is much too long, so we'll cut that bit down, and then that will look absolutely perfect. And we'll put them bands on, and it should all be much better. So, yeah. I mean, it was worth a shot to see what it looked like, but it looks shit, if I'm honest. So we'll take that bit out, we'll have that bit spare, and then, yeah, that bit spare. What I might do is turn it, and I put the, yeah. Oh well, it's going to be a later addition to the pond anyway, just to make it look a bit nicer. So, there we go, one pond. We're almost there. We're almost there. That big push that we had, 12-hour days. Yeah, that was good. Today, well, yesterday, the day before, and then we worked through the rain. Yeah. So we got there. Finally got there. Just that one bit I'll undo and redo, just so it looks nice. Yeah. And there we go. Just the barrels to sort out. But for that, I need the air valves, which Mum kindly agreed to pay for, whether I order them online or whether I try and find them at a DIY store. I think I'm going to try and find them at a DIY store tomorrow, because if I can find them, it means I can start tomorrow. And if I can't find them, I'll just order what I've got online in my basket, and that should do. Then we can get the water out, get the water tested, everything filled up, and test the airlines, fill right up, fill the system up, get the system going. Not going to have any media in here to begin with, because I can't afford it. But I have got some lava rock that can go in the backy shower, so that'll do for a week or two, and then we'll get some proper media and fill these barrels up. So that's the only expense really left to get, and I know how much that media is, so I can just add that on. And we should be good enough to restart the competition, which is going to be awesome. And then we need to get into the next project, which is building the prize. And then after that, we should have a little chill out for a bit before we do any more projects. The next project after that is most probably going to be a retrofit drain for the main pond. Yeah. So, for today, I'm going to call it quits. We've done well today. We've done really well. It's going to be another scorching day tomorrow. And then once we've done that pond, we're going to take a break for a bit. And just relax before we get into the next thing, and then the next thing. This is probably going to be, it might even be early next year, this project. Yeah, they seem to be alright, despite the fact the water's still going down. That prevent is definitely helping. Prevent blanket weed clover leaf is what I'm using, rather than just the blanket weed, the actual blanket answer. There is blanket answer in it, but for now we're using the prevent. See if that works, because the prevent is much cheaper than the actual blanket answer. It's ridiculous when you want to buy a big tub of blanket answer. It's like 60-70 quid. Compared to about 45 for the prevent. And you actually don't need as much prevent. It's just one scoop per 800 gallons. So anyway, we're going to call this quits for today. We're going to tidy up, and then we'll pick you back up in the morning, people. Hey, see you tomorrow. Good morning, beautiful people. And I think the last couple of days have taken it out of me because we're up a bit later today. But today's job's clean these off. That one and that one there. Spray those up. Fix those underneath. Remove that first piece of wood and that little block. And replace it with that one. So that needs cutting down, sanding, varnishing, and then installing. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to head out and see if I can't find what I need for the airline. Because once I get that done, and I get that done, and I get the vacuum shower sorted, and we come around to here, I put a hole through here, we are pretty much completed. We can get the barrels together, we can get all the filtration together, and we can have a start. We can fill it right up. Once I've drained it out, we can fill it up. Clean that window off. And yeah, we are good. We should be running then. We should be able to test it. Make sure it's working. Get the media into the backy shower to begin with. And we could add fish if we desire. It's really hot today. Really, really hot. Ugh. This is still going down, for fuck's sake. So, yeah, once I get that done, I can have a look at this again. And we can get those guys out of there. Rescue these guys. Yeah, rescue these. Rescue the guys from the tank as well, because they just keep dirtying the water. Within a day. And yeah, we should have a new pond up and running. So I'm going to head out, see what I can find, and I'll come back to you in a bit, guys. Oh, that's a new bit of wood, cut to size, and sand in. It's looking pretty nice actually. It's got a lovely green. Yeah, if you can see that. Oh, it's going to be on show. That varnish should pick it up really nice. So while we varnish that and it gets each coat, we've got to clean these two up. Get a wire brush on, get them labels off. Wire scourer. Take some labels off, treat a bit of hot soapy water. And then we'll get them sprayed. And in between each layer of varnish, we will spray and varnish. And then we can install it where we took that one out of. So, shouldn't be long, and we should be back. Now what did happen when I took that other one off is, as you can see in the back corner, layer of liquid black, a seal, has come a bit away. So same on that corner as well. So I'm going to have to reseal that once I put that top back on. And we get them installed, and that should hold the stability when I finish tripping over my tongue. Yeah, that should hold the stability a bit better. Bring that up a bit. That is just where I've leant on it. I shouldn't lean on it. Still not remember not to lean on them bits. This bit's fine. If I'd have gone wood all the way around at the top of the polystyrene, we wouldn't be having this issue. So that's one to learn for next time. So if you're going to build a pond like this, put your polystyrene in, leave a batten's gap at the top, put a nice batten right round the top of your pond. Never even crossed my mind to do that. There we go. You've learned. Next time, and we're looking good. Right then, let's continue on, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's varnished. Yeah, it's just done its third coating. You've still got to flick it upside down and then flick it around to do the bottom and the other side underneath. Outside, the bands are still on their first layer, still a bit tacky. So, while I wait for that to dry, I'll have a bit of a chill out. Then we'll get that flicked over, flicked around. Probably do that a couple of times before I go and check those again. Only wants one more layer, if that. So, I'll catch you in a bit, guys. And there we go, people. That's the new top piece put in, and the new braces, which have made it a lot more still strong. I just got to cut a little bit of piece out of there, and we are done. And you'd think I'd be happy. No, I'm not. And I'm not because I'm just lost for words, because I've just spotted something, and all this effort and all this, look, how the fuck, that is about an inch ripping the liner. Fucking hell. The only thing I can think of is that when I've been drilling up, I have caught the liner on the teeth of the drill where the chuck key goes in, because it's the same sort of size. Oh, all these months and effort and hours and oh. So I've now got a fucking brand new pond with instant patch on it. Not fucking happy. Absolutely, I need to get a cigarette. And if I was still doing what I used to do when I was younger, a lot younger, I would want to get fucking stoned right now. But there we go. Ah, oh, fuck me. Right, I need to sit down and calm down. Cigarette. And then we'll go with this patch. I'm going to be using MS300. Even though I wanted to save the last little bit for the patch in the pond, I'm going to be using that. We're going to try and see if we can get a patch both sides. If we can post. And then, I don't know. Oh, you think you've won? You think you've done it? I'm just so fucking upset right now. Oh, for fuck's sake. All the fucking things. It's looking so fucking good. For my first ever build, I'm just like fucking devastated. It's obviously when there was a screw that wouldn't go in, couldn't get it in until I tried to move it in a little bit closer. And that's what I've done. There's a slight mark over there, which is similar, but I'll check that one. Oh man. Just, I don't cry fucking easy. But right now, I'm fucking right on the borderline. Now I've got to go, I've got to have a cigarette. Well, there's the patch on. Got to let it dry now. Not what we wanted. This is why I don't believe there's fucking any gods. Because they would not let you try and get yourself out of your situation, battle your condition that you've got, get you this far, so you're all excited and everything's looking great. It's come out a lot better than you think. Get whatever come out, and you feel a real achievement of what you've made and what you've done, and you're proud of yourself, and then they just take that all away by giving you something like that hole in the liner. There's not a God been invented. See, God didn't invent man. Man invented God. And we invented God to answer the questions that we still can't answer. Like, where the fuck do we come from? Are we dropped here by aliens or whatever? You know, what's the meaning of life? And there's things like this that think, why the fuck did I bother? But anyway, apart from that, he's changed the subject. He looks pretty good, doesn't it? Much better than what I can do. Now, this water is now completely shitty, so I am going to get rid of it. And I'm going to ask Mum if she wants it for the garden, because I can probably get some kind of pipe work on it and get it to where she wants in the garden. Because I do not fancy bucketing all that water out. And there. Right, so all we've got left to do now is the backy shower, which seems to now be sitting a bit lower than the original design. So what I might do is put something underneath it just to sit it on, because that back not being one piece of wood now being two pieces of wood, not completely level at the back there. that back piece slopes down, which is yeah, a bit curious to why it's doing that, but it's doing that. But it looks all right. That piece of wood came up nice, sanded up nice. We got that nice grain on it. So let's finish off. We need to put something under that to make that higher, because I can't be bothered to cut that pipe down. We'll make that a little bit higher. Or do I leave it at that height? No, let's cut that pipe. Cut the pipe. I'll leave the pipe. It's getting it the right flipping height after I've cut it, that's the problem. So yeah. Suppose I could measure it from the top to the height of that. And then you've got the rubber boot that goes on it anyway. We'll see. We're going to try and attach that shoe to it, one boot to it, and see what we come up with. So alright then guys, when I do that, which means I've got to get back in the pond again. Yeah, we'll find a piece of wood that'll fit there, and then that'll be it. Now I've got to wait for that frigging patch to dry. I've smoothed it off as best I can, but I only had my finger. So let's hope that holds. Let's hope it holds better than the one in the main pond, because that's annoying me at the moment. That leak. So yeah, you get all the way to the end, and then disaster. Oh well, we'll carry on. It's not the end of the world. It's not complete. I've got to rip it all out and put a new liner in, because that would just take the piss. So yeah, we can sort it. That other little mark that was up there is not through the liner, so we're happy at that. There's nothing else. Right, so we will get moving on. What's that? There you go people, that's the last little piece of wood in his little slot. He just needs varnishing up on the end. I've just made it a nice rounded edge. That is because I couldn't really be bothered to cut such a tiny piece off to make it fit flush. But I think that looks alright. If you look at the grain, it actually kind of goes up, and then the next piece of wood comes into it. So, and also we've got this being finished. There's a little bit of work, and that is the backy shower completed. It can move left and right a little bit. It's not soldered welded in completely at the moment. I think at the moment, for the time being, it's going to sit there, and that's because for some reason, if I didn't order enough, or I can't find one, yeah, short one of these 90s, and let me take that off because it's driving me up the wall. That off, so that will drop down through there. Let me get it properly sorted. Yeah, this is that. So that'll drop through there, and then another 90 will bring it horizontal, and this will get cut shorter and end up coming out like that, or turned up the other way, depending on whichever way I want it. because I'm just going to leave this on the end here, free to turn in whatever direction I want. So that is the construction completed. All that's left is when the airlines turn up is to get the airlines into both barrels welded together, and fixed to this, I'll fix to that end, and then we can open the valves and the water should flow through. Then we can test the system to make sure that the pump can keep up with the amount of flow and not be too much. That's why we got the vary pump. So what's that? That should all be sorted. I'm happy with that. Really happy with that. That's probably the wood's got to come out. So months and months and months of grind. One pond. Does mean minus 2 plugs, one for the UV and one for the vary pump, which comes with a stupid pump plug. That's, I don't know what country it's from, but it's a really weird looking plug. Whether you can use it here or not, I don't know. It's a really weird looking plug. So there we go then, guys. Oh, thank heavens we are finished. Apart from the few bits that we got to put together. Oh, that patch. Never mind. It's gonna haunt me, that patch. Should have been looking at the drill and not at the screw hole where I was drilling, because I was trying to make sure I didn't drill right through the piece of wood. Anyway, we'll see what that's like tomorrow. Looks good. There was no other holes. That's just a mark. Alright, let's get everything off that can fall in the pond. Tidy up, have some dinner, and we will call that the end of the episode. So, I'll be back in a little bit, and just to say goodbye. But there you go then, guys. That's the entire project, 99.9% completed. I cut that out, little hole there for that to go in. And we've got the rest of the filtration system to make. So I do want to go through that side with the backy shower, just so that if there's too much water coming through it, then it's not going to overflow. So you've got 2 ways to go out. Possibly another like bog filter on this side. All that's left to say now. Thanks for watching, thanks for liking, thanks for subscribing to the channel. We will catch you next time, and we'll be running the tests. Just gotta wait for the airline pieces to turn up. The 2 valves. And we are running close to an hour of video now, so I'm gonna wrap it up there. So we'll see you next time, guys.